afternoon.
Yeah.
So I'm Cynthia McGoo, Banks, Education Technologist and Cross-Campus Moodle Coordinator in the Office of the University CIO. It is my pleasure to introduce Danielle Flores, who will be facilitating today's session on Turnitin AI Detection. Daniel has worked closely with the University of the West Indies for over 6 years. In 2024, he said farewell as he moved on from Turnitin to pursue a higher position elsewhere. While we were happy for his professional growth, we were certainly saddened to lose such excellent support. During his time with us, Daniel supported the university through the COVID-19 period, helped maintain our Turnitin account, facilitated training sessions, and consistently addressed any issues we reported in a timely manner. We were therefore very pleased to recently receive news that Daniel has returned to Turnitin in the era of customer success for the Caribbean and Central America. I had no doubt that Turnitin would welcome him back as he is exceptional in providing guidance and support on Turnitin's tools with a strong focus on academic integrity and the responsible use of emerging technologies in teaching and assessment. Today, Daniel will walk us through Turnitin's AI detection capabilities, explain how the tool works, and discuss practical consideration for its use within an academic environment. We appreciate Daniel taking the time to engage us this morning, and we look forward to an informative and interactive session. Also, let me just drop in here. Daniel will be visiting Jamaica, the Mona site. So those of you who are in Jamaica will be able to. We are arranging. I think the 8th and 9th. Those are the dates tentatively that we are working with in terms of for him to visit, and so additional questions and so on, you'll be able to interact with him while he's here. We'll arrange for that session. But let me just move on now and just welcome Daniel and over to you. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Thank you, Cynthia, and my heart is glowing right now. I mean, thank you for those words. I love working with you, like everyone in UA. I'm super pleased to be here, and it's my like believe me, it is my pleasure to be here. So let's get to it. The only thing is that I'll make my best in terms of my English to exactly, say what I'm trying to say and to explain it to the fullest. Okay. And so let me just like right now I'm just go ahead and click on mute all. But if you have any questions, just feel free to open your mic. Okay, I'm okay with that. But just for the sake of avoid interruptions or anything like that, I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And so, but once again, I'm super happy to be here. Let's jump into the session. And let me tell you that this presentation is for you. So I'm actually recording this session, and also I will share the presentation with Cynthia as well for you to have it. Okay, if you want to revisit, if you want to want to take screenshots, I mean, you're more than welcome to do that. So I have baptized this presentation as integrity redefined. Okay, navigating the AI era with Turnitin Feedback Studio. I know, believe me, I know that the focus of this meeting is talking about AI detection, right? But I cannot. I mean, it would be misunderstood if I only talk about AI detection and not talking about everything that covers how do we get to that AI detection. Okay, so once again, I will focusing on that, but I do have to cover some other important aspects because the tool that you'd use right now, it's called Feedback Studio, right? It's not called AI detection. Turn it in. Okay, so I just need to rediscover everything back and obviously spend the most of our time today into that specific area, right? And so let me just more people are coming in. I'm super glad to have that. And so okay, and so our mission is to ensure the integrity of global education and research. I think that's clear. That's been our message since the very beginning. The agenda, it's pretty kind of, I will say, kind of solid and short. We'll first talk about timeline in terms of how big is generative AI. I mean, how big is the challenge when we are talking about generative AI and how it's different to just plagiarism, okay, or to the plagiarism we were used to back in 2023 and before, okay. And Feedback Studio, which is composed of three important aspects: similarity checking, AI detection, and feedback tools. And the only reason why I'm talking about the whole Feedback Studio is because I do want to state that there is a huge, immense, um, big difference between similarity checking and AI detection. I had a previous meeting with Cynthia, with Brigitte, and the rest of the team to talk about some of the kind of the main aspects of the questions the questions you already have, and the experiences you already have using the AI detection. And so and different feedback I have received along this last year and different and these months. It's that people, users, teachers tr try to compare, right? How the similarity check works, and expects that the AI detection tool also works like that. And it's not that it's a mistake, that you own. It's something that it's our duty on the Turnitin side to explain the big difference, that there are two different worlds, okay. And so we cannot expect to play with filters as we do with the similarity checking, right? We cannot expect to just click into a link and to be sent into a different place, like we do with the similarity checking, right? And so it is complex. That's something that we have to understand. We now live in a different world, with different challenges. You, lecturers, teachers, instructors, you that you are listening to me, you know much more about that than me. Okay, and so I do expect to have your participation today. And we will finish with another item. But turning in clarity, I don't want you to pay attention into that. But first, I do want to touch the points that I need to touch. Um, Listen to your feedback, listen to your questions, and if we have time, we will talk about turning in clarity. Okay, don't get distracted by that. Okay, and so let's get to it. So this is a phrase that I like to add whenever I'm talking about this. So change is constant in education, but we have never seen anything like the tech changes of the last few years. So our life was, I mean, I'm not trying to says anything here, but it was kind of simpler, easier back from 2023 back. I know when we say that, we remember COVID and many things that happened around the world. But when we talk about education, when we didn't have, these LLMs, for the people who doesn't know what is an LLM, it's a large language model. ChatGPT is an LLM. Okay, that's the name of the family of ChatGPT, Bard, Gemini, Copilot. So many that there are over there. And so different world, different challenges, different technology, something that we have never seen before. But hold tight. It's not the end of the world. Okay, we will support you, and we are going to support you in the most beautiful, perfect way. Let me just add 12 more people to the session. Oh my goodness, this is getting crowded. Okay, good. And so just to look back to where we were and where we are right now. So the evolution of the academic misconduct. This is a timeline I talk about in the agenda. So we had copy paste in the past. We only copy paste. We had collusion. When students work together and just submit the same document all at once, when there's no need for a team effort, but they actually go into teams and do that, which is not accepted. Research misconduct. We know that misconduct is not only a thing that happens with the students, but also with researchers. And it has happened around the world. In my country, Mexico, for the ones do not know, I'm Mexican. We have had some issues here in our country when we talk about, you know, the money that researchers receive in when they submit a new research, and so they had this kind of reasoning why to do this, and to just publish and publish and publish and publish and to receive more and more and more money. But you know, there's in fact a way in which, you know, some organisms have checked that, you know, some of these researchers are not doing the things, you know, okay, or with you know, integrity standards. Then we saw the evolution and the coming of contract cheating. Okay, so contract cheating, for the ones that are not familiar to the term, it's when our student is not copy and pasting, is not asking for another, you know, a peer, another student for their information, or for data, or to complete their document, but they are actually buying the document from what we call SA meals. These companies that I'm pretty sure they're maybe out of business by now. But you know, contract cheating is when we actually go and configure, you know, ask for a configured quote on, hey, you know what, I'm a third year student of this discipline. I don't know, 20 years old. This is the objective of the assignment is this one, and it's 12 pages long, and I need it by tomorrow. And so I get a quote with those specifics, and then I get the I pay for that, and I get the document. It's not, I'm not copying, but I'm actually contract cheating. Okay. And finally, but not less important, and because that's the world we live right now, it's the AI writing. So that will be the focus of today's meeting. So AI writing, it's ChatGPT with all its cousins, right? And making the life of our students easier, quote unquote. And we know the damage these type of tools can do on our students, because something that is important for me to say, it's super important for me to say this, is that Turnitin is not against AI. Okay, we even use AI for our models. We employees of Turnitin, we have access to Gemini, right? And so, because we as employees, we are asked to be efficient in our work, right? But that's a professional, a work environment. But when we talk about students, I mean, I'm pretty sure that when you were students, like I were, um, we didn't choose our school, or we didn't choose the University of the West Indies because the University of the West Indies promised us to make us more efficient. That's not how it works when we are students. Perhaps that it's part of, you know, the list that I can accomplish if I study in the University of the West Indies. But I choose the University of the West Indies, any of their campuses, because I do think I rely on, you know, the importance of the university, on the quality of the knowledge I can get, on the importance in how, in the weight, you know, of a diploma from UE, and the quality of their teachers, the quality of their processes, you know, how they share this knowledge. That's the big part of being a student, learning. And when we are talking about learning, these tools do not are not designed to reach to that goal. Okay, and so that's why it's not that Turnitin is saying do not use AI, this is evil. Not at all. It's, we want to help you using it responsibly. Just like and sorry for this. I mean, I apologize for this example, but I don't know if anyone loves, you know, football here. When we watch the Champions League, you know, one of the main sponsors of the Champions League is Heineken, this super big company, and we don't get the message of, you know, drinking alcohol is, even though it could be bad for your health. The message is drink responsibly, like actually enjoy it. Like, yeah, you can drink one or two but never drive. Okay, the same framing in terms of AI. It's here to help you. It's here to make you more efficient. But use it responsibly. Don't let AI do the whole work for you. You have to actually think. You have to train your brain. You have to learn something, right? And develop your skills, your critical thinking. That it's still the base of any student, any discipline. Critical thinking. Where to say, when to say yes, when to say no, how to, develop a process. That's what it's all about when we are talking about institution, and that's why the LLMs, they tend to collide when we are talking about students. And so, okay, so that's the message. And what we have seen is that, and you can read it over here. Let me just admit everyone. The proportion of students using AI to generate text has more than doubled in the last 2 years, 2024 against 2025. Um, what is it that our students are using AI for? And it's mainly, for generating text. So ChatGPT is the most popular tool. I'm not saying that's the only tool, but it's kind of the most popular, and the one that our students tend to use more. But there are others, right? Copilot, Gemini, others. Enhancing and editing your writing with Grammarly, that's another big source of usage for our students, and so on. I mean, you can read the other options, but the one that concerns us the most is generating text with ChatGPT. So that's something that we have to focus on today. And so once again, and this information comes from a survey. Generative AI is here to stay. We know that. So the question is no longer, are my students using AI? The question is not that one, because we already know the answer. It's most certainly they are using it. In what proportion? We look at this survey, and we said that, or we look at the information, and view that 66% of the interviewed students use generative AI back in 2024. And then with a sample that is like the one that it was submitted in 2024, the answer got to 92%. And so once again, as the slide says, there's an increased adoption among students in terms of Gen AI. Okay, so this is the challenge. There's no doubt about it. Um, but what is the impact? Why is this important to us here right now? And that's why I was asking Cynthia at the beginning of this session, like, who we have here. And so mainly instructors. You can have another profile for you with. But once again, I think this is important for everyone. Impact of Gen AI on instructor workload. And I do think this is kind of, again, one of the reasons why we are here in this conversation. So 81% of instructors who reported an increase in workload due to student use of Gen AI attribute this to the increase on monitoring, academic integrity or enforcing policies. This is not necessarily something bad, but we recognize. I mean, when I said not necessarily something bad, I mean the enforcing of policies or monitoring for academic integrity. That's what I meant. But once again, we recognize that this could mean in different institutions extra steps, additional steps, more time invested. And so I know this could be for instructors, this could be a super difficult topic because you only have 24 hours in your day. Some of those hours are spent on sleeping, like any human being. Some of those hours are spent on our families, which is super important. I would say that's the most important part of our lives. Our spouses, and kids, and our families. And then it comes the hours that are spent on our jobs, and exercise, and other things that we like to do. So there's a limited amount of time that we have every day. And if you are adding more steps, more tasks to complete the same objective, then we have to take time from other areas of our lives. And so we don't want to go there. That's something that we do not want to be. And so we have to keep thinking about what we need to do. And so faculty are not effective in recognizing AI generated content. And once again, it's starting to ring a bell in our heads, right? And so 99, 98, 90, 94% of our of AI submissions used in the research went undetected and were awarded like higher grades than the real student submission. And this is a study conducted by the University of Reading in the UK back in 2024. I know by the date this could sound like, hey Daniel, this is not recent, but once again, I mean, the challenge is there, okay? And what we have seen is perhaps that was 94% back in 2024. Right now, it could be even higher or lower, depending on the technology that we use, the tools that we use to actually recognize, AI generated content. And so, and this is Turnitin's homework right now. This is what you're looking at is Turnitin homework. But still there's important pieces of information that I have to share with you in order to assess what we deliver to you correctly. Okay, and so let's hold tight. And so once again, when we talk about ChatGPT and Gen AI, we are we're talking about three main I don't want to say enemies, but three main profiles. I would say it like that. Three main profiles, not enemies. Three main profiles. So it's the generative AI as it is when I, go to ChatGPT or others and type down the prompt, right? Hey, you know what? My teacher is asking for a summary on the French Revolution. What about that? I'm not too good at history, and so I don't even care about the subject. So, ChatGPT, could you just create a, 1,000 word summary on the French Revolution? Click enter, and voila, your job is done. Your homework is completed. You just copy and paste it and submit it to Turnitin, and that's it, right? That's one. Another scenario is the AI paraphrases. Okay, so well, let's think about the same scenario. Hey, French Revolution. I know one or two things about the French Revolution. I've read a book. I perhaps love, the Joaquin Phoenix movie on, Napoleon's movie, and it is interesting for me. But I'm not quite sure that I comply with everything that my teacher has asked me that my assignment should have. And so I start working on my homework. I finish it, but I once again I don't feel too sure. So I take my own information that I have created, copy and paste it into ChatGPT or any other, and said, "Hey, ChatGPT, could you please review this information and just make the changes that you need, that you feel, that you think are needed, and make it sound more professional." Click enter. The paraphrase is done, and I once again copy and paste what I think is my information and submit it into Turnitin. Right? Uh, Job done. A third player here is the AI humanizers. These are newer than the first two that I mentioned. So, what is it a humanizer? A humanizer is profile one when I don't care about the subject, I don't care about the French Revolution, I don't care about the French, I don't care about history, I don't care about nothing. I just want to, move forward in my studies and get a good grade. That's it. So I go to ChatGPT. But now my teacher, Mr. I will just say a number here, a number, a name that I see here in my screen. My teacher, Mr. Mervyn Chisholm, um, he said to me that I have to be careful on what I submit because now Turnitin has a tool that can detect AI content. And so I get afraid of that. And instead of, afraid, but not enough afraid. Because what I think is like, oh, I heard that there's a tool that it's a humanizer. So if I submit the information that ChatGPT gives me, I can humanize it to make it sound more like a human. And in that way, I'll get a good grade. And Mr. Chisholm will never know about this. And so I go to ChatGPT, I ask it for my homework, ChatGPT give it to me, and then I copy and paste it not into my final um, draft, but into a humanizer tool. So I copy and paste it over there, and I humanize it, click enter, humanize it, get the information from the humanizer, and then a second copy and paste on my document, and I submit it. And job well done. Okay, so I'm not saying they're getting away with this. Okay, I'm just saying that there are three types of participants that are important for us to know, for you teachers to know that they exist, and they most likely are being used by our students today. Okay, that's the real world. Okay. Um, so, okay, Daniel, enough telling us about, scary tales and everything. So, what is it that you do? How can you help us? You as a representative of Turnitin, how Turnitin with their software can help us. And so let's talk about it. So challenges we address. Okay, so it's for us it's academic integrity in writing and assessment, responsible use of AI, and the educator's impact. Why the educator's impact? Because we will never be a teacher, right? We will never be you. Um, we give you information for you to assess that information and take decisions, right? And move forward. So, and once again, it's responsible use of AI and not, it's not that we condemn the use of AI, because what we know is that in the future, when your students are graduated people and they are professionals and they are looking for a job outside, um, most likely in their interviews, there will be asked about how I like if they domain like if they master usage of AI tools. So we don't want to create a gap between students and technology, but we do want to create a bridge between students and responsible use of AI, specifically generative AI, because AI could be many things. There's AI for construction, there's AI for medicine, there is AI for grammar, there is AI for cuisine, there is AI for many topics on how to design your house, on AI on movies. We know that AI on music, AI on whatever, like any topic. But today we are talking in this atmosphere, and in this environment of education, we are talking about generative AI. Okay, so that those are the challenges we address, and so this is not a sales presentation. So even though it could sound like that, I'm just trying to get you into Turnitin Feedback Studio, because that's a tool you already have. Here, I'm not trying to sell anything to you. So Turnitin Feedback Studio, it's focused on similarity checking. Okay, that the first part that we were talking about a few minutes ago. It's focused on feedback. That's why the name it has, Feedback Studio, because this is something you should know. When our students are going to ChatGPT, they are also going to ask for feedback. But I know it sounds like crazy. Like, how come our students are asking for feedback for like to a robot? And so but that's happening whenever a student goes, like if we go back to scenario number two, the paraphrasers, that is like, hey, I have finished. Hey, ChatGPT, I have finished, but I'm not sure of what I wrote. I'm not sure of the words I'm using. I'm not sure of my citation skills. I'm not sure about the length. I'm not sure about this paragraph being here and not there. Could you check it? Can you review it for me and, you know, make the changes that I need that are needed. So that is asking for feedback. The only thing is, if we evaluate that feedback that it's transforming just giving answers away, is not going to help our students, right? It's not going to take them anywhere because we are giving them, or these tools are giving them the answers. So they take from them the opportunity to actually think. It's not the same giving feedback by saying, "Hey, check out this paragraph. There is something that is not sounding well. Hey, I have spotted 5 citations that are not correctly referenced. Please check them out." So I'm not saying, "Hey, you should erase this and do this instead. You should take this word and put this word instead." I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, "Hey, you should look into this, right?" And let them think, let them research, let them do their homework, right? So that's kind of the whole idea. And so they are asking for feedback to the wrong place. They are going to the wrong place. And finally, but not less important, is the AI detection. Okay, and we will talk. I mean, all of our conversation will converge into that. So with Feedback Studio, you have all of this to be used at the same time. Okay. I never almost never talk about one feature like an isolated feature. Okay. It's not like that. It's not only the similarity and look at just with a kind of a specific scope on similarity. It's not a specific scope on feedback because we are not a tool about feedback only. And it's not only to take, our lamp and scope only the AI detection. It's all at the same time. Like it's just like a puzzle. If we are, completing a puzzle, we don't just say, "Oh, these 5 pieces, it's the puzzle." No, 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 no. The puzzle is 100 pieces. You have to complete the 100 pieces in order for the puzzle to be completed, right? So if we took one corner and assess that as a puzzle, that is not a puzzle. That's just a couple of pieces, but not a puzzle. If we just took the 10 pieces from the center, take it away from the complete puzzle and say, "No, this is the puzzle because it's part of the puzzle." Well, yes, but these are just pieces. And if we took another of like a different corner and take 15 pieces from there and say, "This is the puzzle," people will say that is not a complete puzzle. Those are just pieces. But if I took all those pieces together, then I will get a puzzle. Okay, the same happens with Feedback Studio. It's not just the similarity checking. It's not just the feedback. It's not just the AI detection. Those are pieces. The complete puzzle is Feedback Studio, the complete thing. Okay, so I just wanted to lay that out like that. And so once again, kind of the message of this specific slide is to show you our commitment on making Feedback Studio every time something easier for you. Okay, something that actually makes the difference, something that you can rely on, and that works. It's super important for today's meeting. Something to be used and adopted by you and your students, right? And so that's what we aim for, not to be one additional tool that everyone has, and it's nice to have, but it's not a must have. And so we want to show you, and that's my job today. I want to show you um, how this could, using it in the correct way can be a game changer for how you have conversations with your students and how follow your own specific process. And so when we talk about this is we are just starting about no more philosophy, no more talking about different ideas and situations and statistics. We are getting to the into a second section of this presentation in which we are going to talk about the actual tool. Okay, the pain is over there. The pain is that our students are using AI. Sometimes we are not able to measure it. Sometimes we are not able to correctly assess Sometimes we are unsure about what Turnitin is giving to us. And so by the end of the day, I just turning out as a teacher with lack of tools to complete a task. Okay, and so talking about Feedback Studio and talking about what you have right now, it's with the first part, what we used to call plagiarism check or similarity check. The process to get to that point is the student submits the document, right? And that document is revised against our databases, which is web pages, published works, and other student papers. I think for everyone here, that's pretty clear. I know that because you have been using Turnitin for quite a time, for quite years right now. And so, but I just want to refresh that information. So that information is not static. That information keeps growing and growing and growing and growing by every month, by every year. And so we each year we are committed to give you just the very best in terms of collection of content, in terms of comparison of information with our databases, okay, or against our databases. So that's a similarity checking. So when we talk about similarity checking, okay, we have information, we have a specific, although no static, we have a specific databases to compare against. That's how it works. And that's how we get to a similarity percentage, right? So 28, 57, 45% of this document has similarity with our databases. And since those databases are owned by Turnitin, Turnitin has, the capacity to, save that information. That's why we can give you, the similarity report, the allocation and the breakdown of every piece of information that has a link to our database. And so and we have filters, right? And we can choose to select or not to select or take into account the bibliography, for example, or specific portions of the document. That's what we were accustomed to before AI, right? And so and it's still working like that, okay? Just to make a comparison of where we are, where are we right now. And so that's how it works. That is why you have been able to rely on this information in this during these years, during these so many years, um, and say with confidence, hey, I see this. This is what my student has submitted, and this is the similarity report. That's how it works, and that's perfect. That's traceable. That's I mean we can make our students accountable for what we have found, and always, right, always being used this in a formative way, right? That's kind of the heart of what we do in Turnitin. It's always looking for formative a approach to our solutions. You don't, it will be a big mistake if you are a Turnitin user right now. It will be a big mistake when talking about similarity percentage to say it's 40% plagiarism or it's 40% misconduct. It's not like that. It's a 40% similarity checking. And even though we get that 40%, what we recommend and we invite to every institution, included UWI, do not take that 40% just as it is. We always ask for institutions and teachers to actually look into the document, to connect the dots, to know what is happening. Because if you only see that 40%, and I'm just, naming an example, if you only look for that, what kind of feedback can I deliver for my student if I'm just fixing my eyes on that solid 40%, right? So I see the 40% initially, I read the document, I connect the dots, I see where citation it's what's only needed, it's a good citation. What's only needed is to change a couple of words. What's needed is to rewrite the document, from the very beginning, and then And then I connect that information to that 40%, and then I connect the information to that 40% to the actual feedback. That's how it is supposed to work. Not for us to give you a 40%, take a decision based on that 40% only, and that's it. That is not how it is intended. Not for the similarity checking, not for the AI checking. Okay. And so once again, it is important for me to refresh this piece of information, because once again, we are talking about a whole system, not just AI detection. Okay, so this is the first part. I see some comments in the chat. Okay, okay, I see people are waiting on the waiting room. Sorry for that. I just got super engaged on the session. So last year we launched an enhancement to the similar experience for the people that already had this experience. I mean, we can have training along the way. Don't worry about that. But it is important for me just to share that we continue getting trying to get you something better. And in this specific case, we have launched a new similarity report. Perhaps for the ones that use Turnitin on the website, you have been able to see it. For the people who use for that use Turnitin through Moodle, which I know it's the big majority. Perhaps you haven't seen it just yet. We need to make some just adjustment into integration, but I mean, do not be distracted by that. That's a whole different conversation. I just wanted to tell you that we are investing on giving you something better every year. Okay, so that's the similarity report. Okay, but and one of the things that we launch with this new similarity report is that we are going to be able, or we were able to match groups of similarity. So we will put in one group all the similarity marks that are from content that is not cited or quoted. Okay, in another group, all the similarity checks that we have seen that that's what's happening over there. It's missing quotation, another for missing citation, and the similarity checks that it's everything is done correctly. It's cited, it is quoted, and it's just similarity because that's how it works, because it has similarity with our databases, but our student it's declaring that this is not their information. They're actually citing and quoting. So the idea of having similarity match groups, it's for you to have an easier, faster process into um, interpreting these results. Okay. Once again, the idea is not getting into details of this, but actually laying out the message, right? So that's how it's working right now. Um, but now let's get into what got us here, right? Which is AI detection. And I know everyone is ready to participate right now, and so I'm super happy for that. But let me please first explain you what is our aim with this, how to use it correctly, and how it was built in order for me to correctly, lay the ground for expectations, right? About how it works. So you have seen that you have this over here, or in this right bottom part of the screen, you may have the AR writing bottom, okay, over there. And so I will just read this. The AR writing indicator has been added to the similar report. So everything happens in the same place, okay? Um, and the definition is this one. It indicates the amount of qualifying text within that submission that Turnitin's AI writing detection model that determines was likely generated by AI. Hey, Daniel, I have a question for you. I can also read, and I see on that second paragraph that it says likely generated by AI. Why is it that word likely means, or why is it there? And so this is important. When we talk about similarity checking, we don't talk about likelihood. Similarity checking is binary. It's black and white. It's either it's on our content or it's not. That's it. Easy to follow, easy to digest. Finito. Okay. But when we talk about this different world that it's called AI, um, first of all, this is news number one. Perhaps many of you already know this, but news number one is ChatGPT, that the one that you, if you just go to into your browser right now, that ChatGPT that you're looking at right now is not the same ChatGPT that was launched in 2023. Okay? They have evolved and they are evolving fast. One example of this is paraphrasing humanizers. Okay? They evolve. So the search, the quality of the search, the quality of the answers, the quality of the speed of their deliveries is not the same as it was in 2023. Big companies are behind, for example, ChatGPT, which is OpenAI. And OpenAI at the same time is backed by Microsoft. So imagine this. These are like super big, enormous companies with a lot of green, with a lot of money, right? And so they have, or I don't know if that's their mission. I don't know. I don't want to say that word, but they aim to be better every time. They aim and to make it better, easier, faster, wider. Every adjective that I can look for enhancements. That's our aim. Okay, and so when we talk about livelihood, it means that we don't have a way to mark something with 100% confidence. Okay, and then that's super important. Is when we're talking about AI writing, this is not binary. First of all, because there's not only ChatGPT over there, there are many others, and we don't know specifically which tool our student is using. Our students are using. Um, Number two, something that comes along with the AI writing process is that it needs a prompt. Okay, that's super important. What does a prompt mean? A prompt is a command. I want a summary of 10,000 words about the French Revolution. That is a prompt. But if I say, hey, I want a 10,000 word about the French Revolution, focusing on the race to power of Napoleon and their initial battles, leaving aside anything that has to do with his personal life, and I click enter, I will have way two different responses from AI. Why? Because AI will respond in the same way as I'm being specific. And something that it's important once again for me to say is the more I know about a subject, the better ChatGPT and others, LLMs, can give me an answer. Okay, if I'm broad, if I'm not specific, if I do not know about the topic, all those things come into play when I use these tools, and I can get wrong information because remember, and this is number three, AI writing does not create knowledge, not yet, at least. But AI writing, what they do, LLMs, what they do is um, that they go and search to the web only and compile information, push it together, make it sound correct, or make it sound like something that has logic and construction and a developed subject, and deliver that to the user, to the people, to the person that is asking for it. So when we try to put all of those items into one jar, it is almost unlikely that there will ever be a tool that says, I can give you the AI writing indicator with 100% confidence. Because once again, AI writing is always evolving. Always. I won't say every day, but at least 2 times a year or 3 times a year, um, ChatGPT launches enhancements to their machine. So this is important for me to say. And so let us keep on reading. Turnitin AI detection model determines what's likely generated by AI. With the launch of our AI paraphrasing, which is, remember, player number two, capabilities, this percentage also includes likely AI generated text that may have been modified using a text spinner. For the people that has never heard about this term text spinner, the text spinners are just like any other tool in which you were the one who wrote it's the same example that I already shared with you. I already created my information. It's my information. I didn't use ChatGPT or an LLM for this. But then I'm unsure about if I'm actually making sense with my ideas. And so I copy and paste everything into the paraphrasing tool. It got all paraphrased, and then I submit this second document as my own, thinking that I did nothing wrong because it was my information. But then what you submitted is not exactly what you wrote. There's a difference, and so that's something that we also take into account with this, with what you have right now. So it's generation and paraphrasing. And so something that it's in I'm feel more than sure to share this with you. And if there's someone taking pictures of this, you are more than invited to do so. So our aim is to protect students' interests. We don't want to accuse falsely of anything to anyone. Okay. And so, based on the data that was carefully collected and verified in a controlled lab environment, so our own AI lab, we validated 700,000 documents before that were submitted to Turnitin before ChatGPT was launched in 2023. Okay. And with that, we create our own model that gives us a false positive rate of less than 1%. I was having an super interesting conversation with an important academic institution here in Mexico, and they were saying, "Oh, Daniel, it's hard for us to say um, or to be completely sure about your AI detection tool just because it's not the same as the similarity checking." And well, we had all the conversation that I already shared with you. And they say, but because it's 99%, it's not 100. And I say, yeah, I mean, 99% is not 100%, but it's not a coin toss either. It's not 50-50. It's not 80-20. It's not, I don't know what's going to happen. It's less than 1%. And if for example, I said this, which perhaps it's a bad example. I honestly can recognize that. I said, like, if if someone sells you a lottery, I don't know, duck, and they say it's 99, I can sell you this. It's 99% um probable that you will win the lottery. Would you buy it or not? And I mean, perhaps you have a different opinion. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but I will buy it like 99%, like every day. I will hit it. And so it's not that we are talking about the lottery here. We are talking about academics here, and we are talking about people. We're talking about students. We're talking about actually assessing correctly what has happened in the document. And so that's why, not that we are satisfied with that 99%, but that's where we are right now. Okay. And it's always important for me to tell you that the AI writing detection is just like the similarity detection in the way in which it is not meant to be used as a judge only, like solely take what Turnitin AI writing detection gives you and take the decision and that's it. No, 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 no. That will be a mistake. Okay? What we are inviting you to do is don't try to assess it by yourself only. Use your, your initial discovery, um, using the percentage that Turnitin is giving you, and then keep assessing the document, keep reviewing the document, keep analyzing the information, and you will see how helpful would it be to use the Turnitin detection tool, and it linked or chained to a review, a real review of the document. People or institutions have shared with us that um, you know uh, students are getting, when we are talking about writing assignments, or written assignments, they're getting super higher grades. But when it comes to the point of, actually justifying the knowledge, or when they are asked questions about what they wrote, like these students, they do not know the answers. They hesitate, they stutter, they tremble because they don't know what they wrote, because that's not their document. And in the majority of the cases, we will see we will see two scenarios: people using, or students using AI and getting a 28, 25, 30% AI detection, and the other, and the other side of the rule will be students using AI and having a result of 80%, 85%, 90%, which in those cases could be easy for us to say, hey, you know what? I see already a 90% AI detection. I will read your document. When reading that document and having a 90% AI detection tool, I promise it will be easy to identify that these do not belong to the student, or um, was not completed correctly. So I see some. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Um, I'm just looking at a comment that says, are you looking I mean, are you looking into like me advancing on the slides or not? Because what you should be looking at right now, it's a green slide that says, protect students' interest less than 1%. Are you looking into that? Because I'm yes, no? Yes, okay, good. And the second from Novak, this is why human review is important. Yes, Novak, you nailed it, my friend. Over 100,000 Turnitin submissions were processed by STA San Agustin, I'm assuming, San Agustin campus in 2024-2025 academic year. This means approximately 1,000 of these papers may have been false positive, and if faculty was using a punitive approach of that absolute AI flag, that could be a disaster. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. By all means. Um, and the message is, okay, let us not, alarm ourselves. Let's just comprehend what we are getting from the AI detection. But what Novak said was, it is amazing. It's beautiful. And so the AI writing report, you will see it like this. Okay, you will see. I don't, and forgive me. Oh, the name of the color, I always say blue because I don't know that all the colors in English, not even in Spanish. But I think it's, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's cyan, I don't know, but it's the bluish color would indicate likely AI generated text, and the purple one, I I got that right. I got that one right. It's likely AI generated text that what was also likely AI paraphrased. Okay, and so you will have these two colors only. Okay, nothing else. It's not, once again, it's not like the similarity report where we have different colors because every color means a different source or a different match. And so in this case, it's just a complete a analysis that says we turn it in. It's identifying this as likely AI generated. And so let me just read what is on the text over there. That the indicator is linked to the AI writing report, which highlights the text segments that our model predicts were written by AI. And so we have those two bullet points. Only instructors and administrators are able to see the indicator and access the report. I know that here we are approaching a turmoil, right? A question that I'm prepared to receive is, Daniel, why is it that students cannot see the AI report just like they are able to see the similarity report? And the reason for that is not that it's simple for me to say, but our original design was the following, and this is going to change. Okay, I just want to leave you with that idea, with that thought. Um, when we launched this, we thought about, you know, students know how they wrote their document. I mean, they know it because it's their own, right? That's simple as it gets. Teachers, on the other hand, they rely on tools like Turnitin and some others perhaps to actually assess correctly what has happened um, during this whole process of submitting a document and finishing a assignment, a written assignment, a research, an analysis, whatever you want to call it. And so we thought that it was more important or more effective in a way to give you the information first, not only, but first. I know that when we are talking about 40,000 students like we has, and multiply that for I don't know how many assignments, it could be it no it not it's not it could be it is it is tiring perhaps to to download a PDF with the AI writing score and send it via email to the students, right? Um, we know that it's not going to be every case because if we once again if we don't take the AI detection percentage as a beacon of light and that's it, but we actually analyze the information, we can get to say, okay, I have a 21% AI detection on the document, but I only see that this AI detection is based on the I don't know, in the initial part of the document, in the perhaps in the framing of the whole like objective of this experiment, perhaps, and that is acceptable. I mean, I'm okay with that. I don't see it fit when the AI writing information it's highlighted on the conclusions. Perhaps that's where yeah, I need to share this with the student, tell him or tell her, hey, you know what? Here this is not permitted because when we're talking about a conclusion, I do want to know what you think. I do want to know what you learn. I do want to know how you would apply it into a different topic or in a real life scenario, right? And so think of the AI detection report as a additional tool, like an actual like if you were building a house, you need a hammer drill, and many other tools that I don't know how to say in English, but a ruler and I don't know, tools, right? And so you don't take the hammer in your hand and look at the piece of wood, and just because I grab the hammer, the piece of wood is automatically nailed to the uh, to the to the ceiling or to the I was thinking about another word, but it's not nailed already or automatically nailed to the place that I wanted to nail it. I have to use a hammer, use my hand, and swing my arm and actually nail it. I have to do it. right? The same happens with the AI writing report. The AI writing report is a hammer if you want to, if you want to look at it like that. So you grab the writing report, you know how to use it, and say, okay, it's not just grabbing the hammer. I have to I have to actually move my arm. I have to actually look at the information. I have to actually read the document, okay, and see why and see the differences between the highlighted text and the one that is not highlighted. Because remember, if the text is not highlighted, that indicates that was written by a human, according to Turnitin. Okay, and so use it like that. This is if I have a ruler in my hand, I just don't grab the ruler and say and look at the window and say, oh, that window measures, I don't know, 50 centimeters or whatever. I have to go to the window and measure the window, and then I will know what's the real measure, right? It's just like that. Um, get to that information now. Going back to, hey Daniel, okay, we kind of understand where you're going, but still we have a pain. The pain is, even though it's not applied to every case, on the cases where there's 80% AI detection, 90% AI detection, 100% AI detection, I do want to share the AI writing report to my student. And so downloading a PDF and sending it by email, it's, as you mentioned, Daniel, at the beginning of the session, there's extra load, and we just have so many hours in our day. And 1 hour already, we have spend that in invest on listening to you. So yes, I know that. I know with super big universities like yours, it could be it gets tiring. But the good news, even though I don't have any specific date for that, but it's happening this year, is that we are going to give you, I don't know if it will be applied like for everyone, or the instructor will be the one who decides in which cases we want the AI writing report to be visible for students. Okay, so that is coming. That is our commitment to get workload off of you and not give you more. Okay, but right now students cannot see it unless you download a PDF and share that information with them. How to do that? Over here in the top part of the like right hand top part, it's a button that says download. If you are using the classic experience of the similar report, you will see it in, over there in this part where there's kind of it's kind of the same icon over there, and it says download AI report, and that's it. Okay. I see there are some comments on the chat. Okay, let me go back to the comments. Okay, I'm sorry for that. Can you clarify? Does the percentage reported for a paper mean that the paper is, say, 30% AI generated material, or there is a chance that 30% that there is a 30% chance, I'm sorry, chance that the paper contains AI generated material. The first one, okay? When we talk, the probability is not 30%. The probability is 99%, okay? So in this example, the one that we are looking at the screen right now, it's 56% as AI. So 56% detected as AI. So how I read this is, it is 99% likely that 56% of this document was completed using AI tools. Okay? That's how we should read it. Not there is a 50% likelihood that this was written by AI. That complete document was written by AI. Okay? Thank you. That, Gillian, that question is great. If you submit the same document and turn it in more than once, can it flag you document as AI after the first submission? If you submit the same document and turn it in more than once, can it flag you flag your document AI as AI after the first submission? I think Naviska, I mean, I'm not sure that I got the question right, but I think that what will happen, like, it doesn't matter the amount of times that you submit the same document when we are talking about AI detection. Okay, it will be flagged the first time. It will be flagged the second time. It will be flagged the third time. It will be flagged the fourth time. It has no, I mean, the amount of times I submit the same document has no impact on the result. Perhaps you are referring to the similarity one, where if we are indexing that document, the similarity report after the second submission of the same document will you will get 100% submission because the first one was already part of our database because you indexed it. Okay, so it does have an impact on similarity score if we are indexing the document, but on AI writing, it has nothing to do with similarity, and so you will still be getting, the AI writing report for the first one, second one, third one, fourth one, and such. Is a paper edited by Grammarly or similar software flagged as 100% AI writing by Turnitin? Marina, I do love your question. So, Marina was not seated, okay? This question is legit and comes from her. I have to say this. So, what happens with Grammarly? So, when we use AI to correct grammar only, it's okay I mean, Turnitin won't flag that. But if we use Grammarly features to paraphrase, a complete sentence or a complete paragraph or the whole freaking document, um, it will be flagged by Turnitin, by the AI detection as something created by AI. Okay, so it is like Grammarly and Language Tool and some others. Okay, so be careful about that. Using Grammarly because I have it installed in all of my, in my Microsoft Word and my Google Doc and whatever, and just for, correcting grammar, like I wrote the word commitment in an incorrect way and it automatically corrected it. That doesn't matter. What will have an effect on the AI detection tool will be if I rewrite everything using Grammarly. Um, yes, the recording will be circulated. Even when I write, and it's my own words and ideas, is it is flagged. Really ridiculous. Well, once again, remember, and okay, I mean, I can get from your comment that you have had a lousy and super bad experience using the AI detector. I can receive that feedback. That's why we are here. It is important for us to, like, whenever you have those cases, whenever you see that it's happening, it is super important to raise your hand and like share that information with, in the proper channels, and they can get that information to me and see what's happening, because that shouldn't be a kind of a normal or expected result. Okay, but adding to your comment, it can happen. It can happen that it's something that I wrote. It's flagged by AI, and this could be an example. If I'm talking about, a specific experiment, right, in the science field, it is super likely that, when we're talking about science field and how to construct an experiment, like, people tend to use the same words. It's not that we are going to use different words just for the sake of having this sound differently or being written in a different way. That's the way it is, and that's the way it's okay. And if you ask that from AI, it will give you the same response, and that's where we can incur in those mistakes. The most important thing is, hey, I'm getting this result. I'm not agreeing with this because this is what's happening. I wrote it by myself. I didn't use Grammarly. I didn't, embellish it. using any other AI tool, and I'm still getting a AI detection of 100%. What's going on? So those types of feedback are always received, and we can work it out. Um, Sean says he claims only use it for grammar. Um, well then, Marina, I don't what can I say, right? If a student is saying I only use it for grammar and still is marking it, uh, what I will do is I mean check the content, right? If we are seeing that they are using words that they have never used before and they say, is it only for grammar? Perhaps it's not only for grammar. Okay. I've had a student said that they use it citation software on their essay and it contribute to their AI score. Is citation software used like yes, everything that it's not us and it's helping us to complete or build, it will be flagged by AI. Okay, everything that it's not our words. So you are saying you can use grammar to check your grammar and it won't flag your document as AI? Yes, Naviska, that's what I meant. Okay. And please just keep adding your questions. I love this. I honestly love this. Um, and well, the AI paraphrasing detection, it's integrated within the Turnitin AI writing detection capabilities. AI paraphrasing detection helps identify when text spinners may have been used in student submissions to modify AI generated text to avoid detection. Well, it's included on what you have. You don't have to click on anything additionally, and it will be the purple section. And the bypasser. The bypasser, you will what is it about what is a bypasser? Bypasser is when they use humanizers. Okay, remember we have three players: Gen AI, uh, Gen AI for paraphrasing, and Gen AI for humanizer. So the word that we use is the bypasser. Um, we don't have a different color for this. The bypasser it's already added into the cyan color or the blue color, and we cannot identify which was AI bypasser or AI gen, like the normal one, whatever that means, right? But it is included. It is part of our analysis. It is part of what we currently do. Um, okay, there are more questions coming in. Grammarly has two sections. The first checks grammar. The first checks grammar similar to word and spell check. The other tool is an AI feature that allows you paraphrase and improve the text. It is using the AI feature that raises the red flag. Correct, Yolanda. It's the second one. The tool is the allows you paraphrase and improve the text. Improvers of any kind will be marked by Turnitin. By grammar, do you just mean mechanics or things like subject verb agreement, and punctuation? Yes, absolutely. I have the problem with high percentage even when with a similar tool for clinical research projects because there are a limited number of ways to say Colette. Awesome. Colette George. Awesome. I love this. Let me finish reading. For clinical research projects, because there are a limited number of ways to say certain things in scientific writing. How can I be confident with the AI detection when there are limited ways of expression? Once again, we here, like, I have to say it like this. We are not dealing with criminals here, okay? These are students, right? Let us not be eager to use the AI detection tool to say this happened, okay? The example that Colette is mentioning here, it is amazing because it is what I meant a couple of minutes ago. There will be um, situations like this one in which, hey, this is just the way it's written. I mean, there's no other way to write this specific content. And if I ask I ask AI for this, the robot will give me the same information. And so the question that Colette is asking is, how can I be confident with the AI detection where there are limited ways of expression? Because you won't take the AI detection as a sole contributor towards the answer or towards the next step. You take the AI detection as support, but you are saying first, like, hey, this is the subject, this is the information, this is the evidence, this is the specific content that is being marked by AI. Thus, let us disregard the AI detection for this specific scenario because, as Colette has already mentioned, there's just a limited number of ways to say certain things. Okay, it's just like when we're talking about similarity checking. If I'm a student of ours, and this is just a simple example that connects to this. Um, when we talk about like for example, historic events, Christopher Columbus arrived into the Americas in 1492, and he came in with three different ships: La Niña, La Pinta, and La Santa Maria. And if we put that in for, like it's universal knowledge, right? And if we add that to a document, do you think it will be marked as similarity? Absolutely, because there are X number of documents that have that same phrasing. But we're not going to ask our student to to add a citation to that or a reference to that because we know that he knows. We know that everyone knows. I will not be asking for that. This is the same case in which, hey, this is a specific scenario. There's only a limited number of ways to say this thing. It's been marked by AI because if I ask it to AI will give me the same. So let us disregard this part, okay? And let us continue with with the um, with the process. Okay, Dr. Pearson says, um, okay, it is not helping students to do research, neither it is helping students to master the writing process, which is trial and error. So I can generate a text. It can insert citations, but the student still hasn't read the cited works to build their knowledge base. So we are defeating them if we train them to be more efficient with it. Still must be able to cite, but the process of research isn't just about finding the quickest source or the fastest way to write an essay. It is about searching for clues. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, perhaps I'm not understanding correctly this, uh, but remember, this is not a punitive tool, okay? And this is not intended for students. This is intended for you teachers, right? So the one that has this analysis is you, Dr. Pearson. It is the teacher. So and what you said in the second paragraph, I think that's how I began with this whole presentation. Um, it's not meant to just finding the quickest source or the fastest way to write an essay. Well, we're on the opposite side of that. It's not that we don't talk about like we don't want from a student to be just efficient and super quick. We want a student to be able to think, to have critical thinking. But that was my opening line, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was misinterpreted that this is for students to use it, and also it is that was the reason why we didn't at the beginning of our launching, we didn't make it accessible for students, right? Because we wanted to give you first the information to you, and then you will have the opportunity to discuss the findings with your students, right? I think that teaching of such research skills will perhaps rest with the faculty human factor. Absolutely. I mean, the human factor here it's what actually makes the difference. If we only rely on the bypasser, on paraphrasing, on the Gen AI, we will commit many mistakes. And I'm not talking about Turnitin. I work for Turnitin. Okay, so I'm not saying this is a lousy tool. I'm saying it is impossible to think about this as a sole software that takes the decision for us instead of us. We or you as teachers are the ones who actually move move the process forward by analyzing the informations. Yes, the dependence. You shouldn't depend blindly on Turnitin and any other, right? And I just because we know we're getting ahead of time. Um, yeah, robots will never get into the place of human. Software is there to make our lives easier, but not to complete our lives for us. Okay, that's I think it's super well said, Justin. And this is something that I just want to talk about before finishing the presentation, because this will be the last, well, not the last, but this is the last part of the AI section. There's actually a link to the frequently asked questions, and I do want to focus on where, if you have the time, it will be amazing for you to read all of this information. But I do want to focus on this AI detection results and interpretation. I know everyone here knows how to read, so I will not read everything, but um, it is important for us to talk about this. So, and it's more of what we have been talking about during today's session. So, what does the percentage in the AI writing detection indicator mean? The percentage indicates the amount of qualifying text within the summation that Turnitin's writing AI writing detection model determines what is likely generated by AI. Okay, or the bypasser. Um, the percentage, this is super important, I will just underline it. This percentage is not necessarily the percentage of the entire submission. If text within that submission is not considered long form prose text, it will not be included. So what does this mean? What does this specifically mean? For example, section like the bibliography, it will be easily copied by AI. And so we will our percentage of false positives could be higher if we check those sections. And so once again, we don't want to accuse anyone, and in fact we are not accusing anyone, but we don't want to highlight anything that we are not sure, or we are not 99% sure that it's AI generated. So pieces of information or sections which is not considered long form prose text will not be included in the analysis. Okay, bullet points, lists, everything that is not a sentence will not be taken into account. What else? What is the accuracy of? I've already talked about this, but what we did is we perform a test of 700,000 additional academic papers that were written before the release of ChatGPT to further validate our less than 1% false positive rate. Before we release any updates to our existing model or launch a new model, we perform, well, it's more of the same. I think this is important. What do the different indicators mean? Blue with a percentage between 0 and 100. Well, the submission has been processed successfully. There is a percentage that is being displayed, and we can follow the ideas that we already mentioned. Low percentage, which is an asterisk and a percentage, it means that the um, the AI detection score for that document, it's on a range from 1% to 19%. And when a document is within that range, our false positives tend to increase. So once again, in order to, for the sake of the student and its whole process, we do not share a specific percentage. We only say we have evidence that there is information over there that was written with AI, but because our false positive rate is higher than 1% within that range, we decided not to assign a specific number. Okay. when there is no percentage and you see these two lines, it's because the percentage wasn't able to be processed. Um, what is it that a document has to have in order for us to give you this percentage with this false positive rate? That the file must be less than 100 megas. The file must have at least 300 words, but not more than 30,000, and be written in English. And these are the type of documents that we do accept. Um, we invite you always to give feedback to us, by scenarios like the ones you have shared with me. Will students be able to see the results? The AI writing indicator and report are not visible to students. However, with the PDF download feature, instructors can download and share the AI report with students. Okay, there's much more about this in the frequently asked questions section. This will be the not only the recording, but actually the presentation will be shared with you. And I know this won't be the last time we see each other to talk about AI detection, but it is my intent. Um, it is my intent to explain it in a better way. Um, and so this has been kind of the purpose. I'm just trying to read the comments as well. Should we use Turnitin in addition to another branded AI detector? Some students swear they are not using AI. They claim they use another other detectors, and it showed them it was human text. So Turnitin is wrong. In your objective way, should an institution have more than one AI detection tool? I wouldn't recommend it, even though it's even though I know I'm talking here about Turnitin, and I know my you may think that my opinion is some sort of biased, that it could be. But letting everyone just choose your preferable AI detector just because it gives you a lesser percentage could create confusion. Okay. If I would say this, like the word of the student should always come first, right? If you have analyzed the document and say, hey, my student is saying they wrote the document, I know my student, when I read the document I see that these words is how he or she writes for every assignment. I don't see any red flags. And still the Turnitin AI detector is giving me a high percentage. I'll just disregard the AI detector for that specific case. That will be my approach. That shouldn't be the majority of the cases, though. It should be a small percentage, because that would obey our false positive rate. But once again, if a further investigation is needed, um, you can share this with the in the proper channels, and if it gets to me, that I hope it gets to me, I mean, I will be more than happy to help. Um, you would need someone else says you will need that one. You would you would need one that guarantees a better than 99% accuracy, or it will be pointless. That's a valid point of view. That's a valid point of view. I think there will never be a tool that promises you that it will have a 0% false positive rate. If you don't find it, that will be great, and I will 100% tell you, like, you should use it, because what they are telling you is that 100% secure that their data is correct. So I mean, I totally accept that. Um, Sometimes when the AI detector shows gray, what can occur is that the student submitted the essay as an image file to avoid detection, so it doesn't read Turnitin similarity check. I've converted the file back to Word, submitted it, and Turnitin picks up the similarity. Yes, of course, sir. That's. I mean, I think we should be transparent with our students. Say, hey, you know what? The idea is not to trick Turnitin. So Turnitin does accept PDF, but it does not accept pictures of a document transform into a PDF. Okay, it has to be PDF of a written text. I get the message at times AI writing detection unavailable for a few submissions. Possible reasons for this, Marina. Possible reasons could be the ones that we just read about it. But if you find that there's nothing that fits that description and you are still finding the detection unavailable, once again you should raise your hand and I mean I do ignore if there's a proper channel whenever you find this. I'm quite sure there should be, uh, but it should be fixed. Okay, that cannot work. But how about students who have not used it at all? How can that essay be graded the same as a student? Okay, a ver. That cannot work. How about students who have not used it at all? I'm thinking the AI detection. How can that essay be graded the same as a student who has not used it at all? Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, there are situations in which students feel like there's an unfair process because they commit to learning, and so they come in to not using AI, and then we have a percentage of students using AI, and at the end of the day, the students that are using AI, since they are, you know, their documents are better written, whatever that means, they tend to get a better grade. But once again, I mean that would depend on your own processes, right? And so that's why it's important to have this. I know that some people may not agree with using a tool that is not 100% has not 100% accuracy on its results, like Turnitin. I have to say it like that, but at least it will give you a place to start, okay, and a place to start the conversation, a place to focus, because um, the examples were honestly short. But if we were talking about a 20 pages long document, 30 pages long document, and what happens is that you have to check it all because you don't use an AI detection tool. You have to check those 30 pages to see or try to figure out if there is some AI content compared to what Trinitins give you with a 99% accuracy. Yeah, I have to say it like that. Turnitin could help you focus on the pieces of information that we claim and we label as AI written. Okay, and that's where the magic occurs. That's when you can become more as teachers, right? Not as a student. As teachers, you can become more efficient. Okay, more fast. And well, just to finish with with today's conversation, unless there are more questions, enhanced feedback and grading experience. Once again, this is what I said at the beginning of the presentations. Our students are longing for feedback. They are asking for feedback in their own places, like ChatGPT. So just be mindful that Turnitin has some feedback tools available, like quick marks, summary comments, and all those comments can be linked to the actual rubric. So there is transparency in the grading process for any document. So that will be it about Turnitin Feedback Studio for today, about AI detection. I mean, I'm open to keep discussing questions in terms of materials. I don't have much more to share with you, but if someone has the time and wants to stay for a couple of minutes more, has more questions, I'll be more than happy to answer those. Otherwise, I mean, I'm super grateful for you showing up today and spending 1 hour and 45 minutes of your time listening to this and participating and engaging into this to this conversation. Does anyone has any additional questions, comments?
Daniel,
Yeah,
right. Thank you so much. The I mean, you have extended yourself way over the time that
No, don't worry. No, it's
given.
your
So
time. So
we appreciate that you. This has been a very insightful session. We went up to about 107 participants. Now we are down. We know we are losing a lot because it's lunchtime and just say we are over the hour and a half. So we should close out now. So thank you very much again. We look forward to remember persons in Jamaica, Mona campus that we will be hosting Daniel on our campus.
yeah.
Um, hopefully you can also, Danny, I don't know, probably can talk about it if we can have a Zoom link so others who perhaps want to,
At
who
least
may
two
have
days. At
additional
least I'll be
questions.
there. I'll be there for at least 2 days, at least, at the very
Mhm.
least. But we can extend it. And actually, I had a conversation with not even my boss, not even my boss's boss, but my boss's boss, our vice president for Latin America. She wants. I mean, she's American, and she wants to take the opportunity to visit you as well and come along in this trip. And so I'm super happy to be connecting the pieces to have someone as important for Turnitin as her. Her name is Stephanie Gladfilter. And with no language barriers because obviously she speaks English. So it will be a great trip. I'm sure. I'm sure. And we can continue discussing this because I know there's people here and like I love it. I love when people say, hey, I'm not only not okay with what you are saying, but this is why I'm not okay. So I know where you're coming from, and we want to give you the very best to perform in your activities to the best it you can get. So yeah, Cynthia, thank you for the time. Thank you everyone for your time. I will share the recording and I will share the presentation as well. Okay.
All right, so thanks again. Thanks everyone for attending. Really appreciate everything. All right, so have a good day. Enjoy lunch, your afternoon. Bye.
Good afternoon. Bye bye.